To me, like I said, it was being around these guys. They're I feel like they're the missing link between where I was and where I need to be. And I feel like I made a lot of progress in these past 9 days. It was the greatest 9 days of my life being around these men.
I do not know you, but I am your brother.
You do not know me, but I am your protector.
I will run into a burning building to save your life.
Though I do not know your name, I will take a bullet for you.
Though we've never met,
I believe in duty and sacrifice
of self.
Your family is my family.
Is my family. Your life is my duty.
What's going on, guys? Time for another episode of Behind the Uniforms. Really excited to have Paddy here. Paddy, why don't you tell them all who you are?
How you doing? My name's Paddy Neville. I'm a retired lieutenant in New York City Fire Department and the president of A Soldier's Journey Home.
Awesome. So before we get started, for those of you who have never seen this before, we invite active, retired first responders, veterans onto the show to talk about their journey, the stories behind the uniforms. We ask you guys all to watch this, consume it, and share it with your friends. So, Paddy, why don't we start there? Why'd you become a firefighter?
Great opportunity presented itself. I ended up jumping in and loved every minute of it while I was working there.
Awesome. But that's not your story now.
No. Now I work with a great organization called A Soldier's Journey Home, and what we do is we find veterans around the country, and we build homes for the disabled vets.
How do you go from firefighting to supporting veterans like this?
Well, former military myself. Another thing is with New York City Fire Department's a paramilitary organization. We have a great relationship with the military. We do a lot of events and do a lot of things with them. So it was just a natural thing to do what we were doing prior and focus then on helping the veterans.
So I know you're not going to say this, but I can. You're sort of the definition of a patriot, the way that we look at it. Served your country in the military, served your community as a firefighter, and now you're giving back to the men and women who have served our country as well. Tell me a little bit about the story of how and why this organization started.
Well, we were doing a lot of stuff for years with various groups, and we saw, unfortunately, the mismanagement of funds and things like that, and we realized that instead of us complaining about it, we could turn around and actually do a better job than they did. So we started the organization a few years back, and what we do is we select a candidate, and how we do that, it has to go with a couple of points on the criteria have to be hit. The injury, financial burdens, medical outlook in life, things like that. How we can help them, as quickly as possible. Once a candidate is selected, then what we do is we'll sit down with them, we'll figure out what we can do and everything else, and plan for where we're actually going to do the build. The next thing we do is we actually get school kids involved, which again, changing the mindset, unfortunately, of what's going on in today's society. Sure. So we get the kids involved, and the kids are actually the first big part of this. We have a school in Illinois, District 214, and what they do up there is we'll send up the lumber. We'll send a couple of our guys up there, and the kids will actually assemble the exterior of the house in panels.
Awesome.
They'll do the interior walls as well. We'll have them sent down to wherever the location is that we're building the site. We'll prep that for 2 days. Then we'll come in on the day of the build, and day of the build we'll have people from 14 different states that'll converge on that site. Firefighters, police officers, EMTs, paramedics, nurses, military. Most of the people that are doing it with us, they're also former military as well. So awesome. There's a big connection there. And then once we start, and 9.5 days later, we'll be able to turn around and hand over a fully constructed, fully furnished, fully finished home, mortgage-free, to the veteran.
9.5 days.
9.5 days. And the reason why we do it in 9.5 days is because all of us take our own vacations. We take our own vacations, we take our own travel and all the other stuff, we cover our own expenses. So every penny that we raise for the organization goes directly back to the veteran. Nothing goes into anybody's pocket, nobody's getting a vacation out of this. Everything is taken care of completely, and everybody that donates knows that every penny that's going is going right where it should be.
That's awesome. You guys are looking right now at some footage of a time lapse of one of the houses going up. Tell me the story about this guy.
The last house we built was in Spring Grove, Illinois. That was for the Chobanoff family. It was for a family of 6. Tony was severe TBI and PTSD, and we ended up starting the house in May. We started on a Thursday morning, and we were finished by the following Saturday.
Wow. How's that feel?
It's rewarding, extremely rewarding, and that's part of the. That's why we have people from so many states. Is every time we do one of these builds, the people from that town or that area that was involved, they jump in on the next one. We joke around and call it like a dysfunctional family, and that each time we do this, that the family increases in size. So now we're doing our next one in just outside San Antonio, Texas, and the people from the last one have already asked, hey, can we get in on this? So
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, we've seen, everybody loves the show when it was, I don't know if it's still on, Extreme Makeover Home Edition. I mean, this is Extreme Home Edition America.
Well, part of the reasons, like when they did that TV show, unfortunately, a lot of those homes were foreclosed on because the people couldn't afford the taxes afterwards. And one of the things we do is why we chose the location and stuff of where these houses are being built is because these communities actually still look out for their veterans.
Awesome.
And what they do is depending on the disability rating of the veteran at the time, they will pretty much guarantee 100% property tax free for these guys.
That's crazy, and that's a
So,
huge differentiator.
It's a huge difference. That's why we build in the locations we do. We work with the veteran, we find a location that's suitable for them, but then we also try and find the community that will work with them. Because the last thing we want to do is build a house and put these guys into a financial hardship.
Of course.
We're trying to alleviate that in the first place instead of these guys that are earning a fixed income and trying to save as much cash as they can for themselves for the way they're living. So that's why we build in these locations.
That's awesome, man. Let me ask you this: what you've got a lot of eyeballs on you right now. People who want to help, what can they do?
One of the things they can do is go to the website, soldiersjourneyhome.org. There's a link there for get involved, and they can either look to see about trying to volunteer or they can make a donation. Any little bit will help.
That's awesome. What are your plans for 2018?
2018 is the home for Sergeant Eric Moranti. That is in New Braunfels, Texas. Like I said, just outside San Antonio. We're actually going to start building on February 22nd, and we will hand over the keys on March 3rd.
That's awesome. I hope you send us pictures that we can do a little follow-up piece on this.
Definitely.
Anything I missed? Anything people need to know?
Just do whatever you can. You know, see these guys, say thank you, you know, and just try and help them out in whatever way you can.
Awesome. Brother, thank you for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Guys, it's going to take you 2 seconds to hit the share button on this video. Very, very spectacular organization, as you can see, so I hope you'll help us all to get the word out there. So thank you guys for watching and sharing, and God bless America.